Okay, I meant to include this in another video, but that's okay. I'll just make a little short one. The topic of this video is finding the slope of a line. Okay, so a sample problem, let's say you're given an equation, a linear equation, y equals 2x plus 3, for example. And remember, this is in the form, what we call slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So in this case, m is the slope, and 2 is the slope in this formula, and 3 is the b. Okay, but I'm going to prove that to you, that 2 is the slope, and I'll show you how to find that slope. You're going to graph the line, and you're going to find the slope m. So, in order to graph the line, you're going to choose your own x values. That's how you graph the line. So, I like to set up a little t like this, and I just start plugging in my x values. Okay, so and one thing I mentioned in my other video is your y-intercept and your x-intercept. Your y-intercept is when x is 0, and the meaning of that is where the line crosses the y-axis here. Your x-intercept is going to be where the line crosses the x-axis. Okay, so if you want your y-intercept, the way you find it is you put 0 in for x. Okay, because notice, for it to cross the y-axis, this is your origin, x is 0 at the origin, and so anywhere up here on this axis, x is going to be 0. Okay, and then your x-axis, well, y goes up and down, and right here at the origin, y is also 0. So if there's anything along your x-axis where it crosses, y is going to be 0. Okay, so I chose to find my y-intercept, my x-intercept, and then I just kind of randomly picked another value for x and found y. I always recommend, when you have a problem like this, in order to graph a line, you need at least 2 points, but I recommend doing 3 because it checks your accuracy. You know, if you have 2 points kind of lined up and then a third one kind of out here, you know, uh-oh, I must have made a mistake with my math somewhere, because if it's a line, all 3 points should be lining up. So this is just a wise thing to do, especially on a test, in case you make a mathematical silly error. You don't want to miss a problem on your test. So do 3 points. Okay, so I put 0 in for x here. 2 times 0 is 0. So then y is going to end up equaling 3. Now, I want my x-intercept, so I'm going to put 0 in for y. Okay, so let me just show you the math for finding that. If I put y equals 2x plus 3, so if I put in 0 for y, I need to solve for x. So remember, you need to undo things to get x alone. So you start with your plus or minus. So I'm going to minus 3 here. And whatever you do, you have to do to both sides. And a positive and a negative cancel each other out. So I'm going to minus 3 on this side, and that equals 2x. Now I need to do the opposite of x times 2. The opposite is divide by 2. Divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 becomes 1. 1 times x leaves x alone. Okay, so what is my x value? It's negative 3 over 2. Okay, so I've got a fraction here for this x value, negative 3 over 2. And so then the last thing I did is I put 1 in for x. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 3 is 5, so y is 5. Okay, so anyway, I graphed 0, 3. I graphed 1, 5. And then notice I didn't exactly do this third coordinate, but you can see it is crossing. What is negative 3 over 2? Well, it's 1 1/2. So here's -1, and that blue line, it's not perfect because, you know, I'm not perfect, but it's almost right there at the half. My drawing just wasn't perfect, but the math is right. So anyway, that is my x-intercept. This is my y-intercept. And now I'm going to take 2 of my coordinates. That's why I circled these 2. I'm going to use these coordinate values in my slope formula. And remember, the slope formula is change in y over change in x. So you take y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, and it really doesn't matter which value I make, 2 or 1. In fact, you flip it around and you'll still get the same answer. But anyway, so I'm going to make this my second one, 5, minus my first one, 3, and then 1 minus my first one, 0, and then I end up with 2 over 1. And that is the slope in the formula, but I proved it with my point values. So hope that helps you in finding slope in your math problems. Thank you.